suddenly the door opened and Brian Geising dropped in. Apparently had just come from Morocco. He was dressed as a Moroccan. And it was all strange and weird and but fascinating, because I was already infatuated by William and his work, naturally. Especially, I mean, the first contact literary was, maybe I'd heard theories, of course I had heard about beats in writing, but when Naked Lunch came out in Germany, which was in 72, it was an immediate revelation to me, and I think I can say that I wrote the first review on Naked Lunch in German. So there was I would say, a total infatuation. Now, my work as a pilot, I think, was the reason why I became extremely interested in cut-up, which I think is one of William's main achievement, because when we talk about manipulation, power, it all works through language. And to me, he's an outstanding writer because he takes language as not a given, he doesn't work with it automatically the way it's, but he always makes it a subject and brings it to the writing table, so to speak. He doesn't take language for granted. That is extremely important as far as my writing also goes, because if you don't break the linear pattern, you will not get you won't get beyond the usual pattern of reality. And it's not by any chance that he calls reality the reality studio, because it's a make-up, it's been made. And if you want to look at behind it, or you really want to look at it, you have to start shifting things around, and that's can only be done by language. Of course, it probably takes a specific gift or attitude towards language as you take it, because as you see, the usual writer uses language as a tool, he thinks that's the way to communicate what he wants to say. But he doesn't realize that then he's already in the trap of the conventional language, and he won't get out of it, in my opinion. One hint for this is this specific attitude that you must be in your blood, maybe, is that William in the beginning, as you know, had a dislike of his own writing, and he always refused to write or to be considered a writer in the beginning. He hated his writing. I think that this is the mechanism of something. He needed a unique attitude towards language to be able to work with it. And eventually, if you use cut-up, language becomes a material, just like little puzzle pieces, and you can shift them around and do with it what you like. The other main thing is, maybe that will come up on the panel, that I think his achievement especially with Naked Lunch, I consider that the central work, naturally. Then we have the cut-up trilogy, and we also have the later works, what is called the Red Knight trilogy, these are 3 blocks that I think, next to the theoretical part, which is also, he uses theory in a literary way. He plays with it, he extends, he shifts around. I always tried to get to what he said, I have a field theory language of the word. And I always tried to get, personally, when I was with him, what is that theory? Please tell me. He would evade me. He would not disclose, at least, if he had it. He was working on it, but he didn't have a ready formula saying the theory is this, except that word is a virus and it's a control instrument. That is, of course, but I mean, is that a theory? I don't think so. So the theory was a project, but if it was ever finished, I doubt it. The other thing I was going to mention now to end is that his personal, he put in Naked Lunch, he put his personal experience, life, outlook on the table with his writing. That is also a totally new category, at least to the extent that he did it. Because the conventional way of writing is, oh, I have this story and I'll write it down, and that's the way it happened. Where is your personality? I mean, your personality is in there by the way you present it, the way you phrase it, yes. But the basic layout, he put his own personality on the table into the book. And for any young writer, for example, who starts writing, I would say, get that personal, you'll have to look at yourself first before you look outside. And say, I will write a story, what happened, or what I think is important. So this putting himself on the table with all his fears, with all his nightmares, with all his obsessions, that's very revealing and very courageous. And only in the 60s, I think, it was possible to present this and become successful. And since then, the reception in Germany especially is always, oh well, in the beginning it's too, it's not pleasant, it's too degrading, it's street talk and so on. That's not literature. And later on, yes, but the taboos he broke, or the subjects that were extreme in the beginning. Now we have gotten used to it. Homosexuality, drugs. That's common. There's nothing we have to look at it anymore. And they, of course, forget the real structure of the Naked Lunch, the literary achievement that I tried to mention before. The way he presented. And one last thing. Last night, Keith said, Keith Seward said, the Naked Lunch is very much about New York City, which is absolutely true. And it's a structural allegory or presentation of New York City, extended, of course, into so on and so on and so forth, but New York City is very present, and you can see that's the structural way of presenting a city in contrast to other efforts that are being done and